Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Aska. Today I'm just going to basically show you guys how I set up my journal for this year. I had a very late start, I'm not gonna lie, but I decided to go ahead and do it anyways because I believe it's better to start late than never start at all. Right now I'm just gathering all my supplies. I did bring up my laptop, but I ended up not really using it. I had brought it to pull up Pinterest in case I needed some last minute ideas, but I ended up only using it for, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I used it for the calculator a few times. But I even pulled up a theme, a post-it drawing on Pinterest, but I ended up doing something totally different, so I honestly bought it out for no reason. I did go ahead and gather up all my pens and markers that I will be using. I chose the color blue. I was just feeling the color blue for some reason, so I gathered all of those. I got my ruler and my eraser because, as you can see, I drew nothing at all in the book. All I had was an outline of everything that I wanted, so I put sticky notes. I knew where I wanted everything to be, but I didn't exactly draw anything out first like you usually see on videos. So you guys are going to be seeing me going through this whole entire process. You will see mistakes, but I left them all in because I wanted to show everyone that this is not a perfect process, okay? Bullet journaling, for me at least, everyone does it differently, but I wanted to show you guys that it's not a perfectionist activity. Even if you're a beginner, you can go ahead and do this. Even if you mess up, don't feel bad. It does not need to be perfect. Your bullet journal is however you want to do it. I did also gather some of my old journals to get a few ideas that I liked in the past. Like I just brought my semester overview because I am still a student in college. I also bought up the key that I used last semester because I loved it. It was simple and straight to the point. So I got my old journals for that point. So let's get started. Right now I'm going in and I'm redoing the key, just copying it right where you see it. I didn't change anything at all. For this journal, I wanted something very simple because I realized that I started bullet journaling probably about I would say my first time would be 2018. At that time, it was just kind of a daily log of my feelings just because I wanted to write about it. I write about my feelings every day. I use habit trackers and all those things. But after a while, I was trying to make it an art journal. And at the time, that wasn't what I needed. So I kept falling off. My old journal, the one that you see right there with the marble colors, I had that journal since around, I want to say 2019. I know that's kind of, that sounds kind of bad, but I had it since 2019. But I neglected that journal so bad because I would always have in my mind that, oh, it needs to be artistic, it needs to be colorful, it needs to be, has the best drawings, it needs to be perfect. When in reality, I started this bullet journal journey in order to compile all my tasks so that I can see them all in one place. And instead, I made it a chore instead of a productivity log. And so I went with this one being very minimalistic because I realized that last semester when I picked up my journal again, I went in very minimalistic and I never put my journal down. Every single week on Mondays, I would go in, set up my weekly log. On the last week of the month, I would go in and set up my new monthly log. But it was very minimalistic and it worked for me because I was so busy that I just needed something to track everything that I had. So if you want to make it an art journal, guys, make it an art journal. But for me, right at this very moment, I just need something to track everything that I'm doing. And so right now I'm setting up my yearly title page. As you can see, I did make a mistake. Again, I made several mistakes during this setup, but I didn't let that stop me because I wanted to show y'all my entire process. There are many places that I messed up here. Some I left in and some I just Y out. As you can see, I put a quote, not a quote, but a poem on the page. I had used it in my journal before and I really loved it. It's a very, very nice poem. It says, "Dear woman, sometimes you'll just be too much woman. Too smart, too beautiful, too strong. Too much of something that makes a man feel like less of a man, which will start making you feel like you have to be less of a woman. The biggest mistake you can make is to remove jewels from your crown to make it easier for a man to carry. When this happens, I need you to understand you do not need a smaller crown. You need a man with bigger hands." That poem is written by Michael Reed, and I originally put in my first big bullet journal years ago, and I really loved it. It spoke power, it spoke motivation, and I wanted to put it in this journal as well, even though I'm keeping it minimalistic, because as you can see, I just wrote it out and then I shaded over it with a blue color pencil. I feel like it set up a good motivation for this year to come, so I decided to go ahead and reuse it. I also just went with lines for the cover page. I was really feeling lines and stars for this journal setup. Very simple, very minimalistic. I'll add some more stars in the corner right there. I did nothing else on this page. I made the letters bold and I added some stars. That is it. For this next page, I wanted to do a 2022 reflection. Again, very minimalistic setup. I just went in with a title in bold saying thank you 2022. I believe this is a very important page for any new year journal or even a journal at any time, just reflecting on your past, because I believe your past is what is able to not mirror your future, but is able to show you what your future can hold. Not saying that you can change, but because of things that has happened in the past, it makes you want to change or want to stay the same. So I believe that this is a very important page for anyone to have, even if it doesn't have a fancy setup. Just saying things that I've appreciated that has happened this last year, whether good or bad. I feel like reflecting is very important, even if it's just daily like I used to do when I first started journaling. Reflection is very important because it's easiest to know what you can do next, meaning how can I improve myself if I don't know what I have done? How can I be better at something if I don't know the mistakes I've made? So I believe this was a very important page. I went in with these cute little headers. A lot of these I made up. I made up on the spot, but I liked it. It was simple. As you can see, when I was erasing, I didn't wait long enough and the gel did smudge a little bit on the K. You're seeing my entire process, guys. It wasn't clean. You see eraser shavings everywhere on my desk. But I went in again with the blue to write the question. What did I like? How will I maintain or improve this? What did I not like? How can I change this? I have a manifestations just to have a great outlook on the year and my gratefulness. On my next page, I'll be setting up my 6 month ahead calendar. I did 6 months because this is a very small book, and since I know that I will be using this very consistently this year, I didn't want to do 12 months because I don't foresee 12 whole months falling in this journal. So I only did 6 months. And I went in with the color blue for just to add a pop of color. And then below it, I didn't add in the numbers again vertically because I realized that last semester when I did that, I have so much to do on one specific day that sometimes that one space isn't enough, and then I'll have 3 days down that has nothing at all, so I'm running out of space. So I decided to just add events as they come. This next page will be my January title page. Again, I did the same vertical column as I did for the yearly theme page. I'm doing the same lines, the abstract lines again. I went in with a cursive. I'm only going with one thin outline of the January. That's it. Nothing too fancy. Even if you can't do calligraphy, you can simply go in with that. I went in with the blue pen again and drew over just to add a pop of color. I'm gonna again go in with a block that has the number 1 because January is the first month of the year. I'm gonna be doing the same design with lightly shading in the column. I apologize that it is a bit out of frame on some parts. I'm still learning. On the corner of the page, I will be adding stars again with the little twinkly lights. On the next few pages, those are my notes pages, meaning any random ideas that come to my head, whether it be when I'm in a meeting for one of my clubs at school, or I have a video idea, or just random things I may have to get done, but I don't need to be put in my weekly log. I use my notes section for that. The next one will be my January month calendar, where I have the massive January view. I will be planning my entire month in this section. So I have the 6 month ahead, and then I have the month ahead. The 6 month ahead, so say I have a trip coming up in March, I can allot those times and I can already have that blocked out. So I know that if anyone comes to me saying, hey, are you free this time? I can say yes, or I can say no. No, I'm so sorry. The month one is for me to transfer all those ideas each month, and then also transfer any exams I may have. I have leadership positions in 2 clubs in my university rather, and so I have several different meetings I have to attend every single week for those, and I will put those here. Any birthdays, any maybe a dinner I have to go out with my friends, I will put them here. Very simple. Right here, I'm just adding in the days. There are 31 days in January, so I'm just putting a little color. Everywhere is very simple and minimalistic. I just use the blue for a pop of color. I know I did write in cursive here, but writing in regular font is also very much okay. Don't put too much pressure on yourself while doing this. It's supposed to be a fun experience. Right here, I'm adding another quote. This one is for more school than the year. It says, don't let what you can't do interfere with what you can do. And I added, you can just learn along the way. Meaning that, guys, it's a whole new year. Everyone has New Year's resolutions. I know that it is very common for people not to stick with them, but if you want to go out and do that new sport, join that club, do that new activity, learn this new language, go ahead and do it. Don't let anything stop you, okay? It is your time. You only have one life to live, guys. So go out and try something new and have fun while doing it, okay? So don't let anything stop you. You can just learn along the way. Right now, this is my first ever video and I am learning along the way, so I hope you guys are here to learn along with me. So right now I am setting up my tentative schedule for school, and I say tentative because my weeks, they're not very organized. The only parts of my days that are organized are in the mornings. I wake up at around 5 o'clock every morning, whether I'm working out and then studying or just getting up and studying. I have everything here listed down. I didn't fill it in because at the time I didn't have my syllabuses yet, so I didn't exactly know when I would align things to study. So that's why I left it empty. I put it in 30-minute intervals to make it easier, since my classes usually go hour and 15 or 50 minutes depending on the day. This next page, I'll be putting in my assignments log. This is where I will keep track of every single one of my assignments and the lecture topics. I know you've noticed me going through and counting every single dot. I did not set up a grid spacing, and I honestly regret it now. It's because I didn't use it in my other journals, because it was always on one page and it made it hard to just be able to use it very functionally. So I will be making a removable one. I just did not put it in this video because I thought of it after the fact. So I'm going through and I'm setting up. If you're paying attention, you also realize I made another mistake, because on the second pages, I got a bit too confident and didn't count my lines. So instead of leaving spaces at the top, I had went all the way up. I do go back and fix it because, as Bob Ross said, there are no mistakes, only happy accidents. I did also end up leaving this page blank because at the time I did not have my syllabi on hand because school had not started yet. After getting my syllabi though, I realized that I got a bit overconfident because my anatomy class had way more assignments that I had anticipated. So I did run into an issue, but I naturally write really small, so I was able to fit everything in. I'm just going in and fixing those extra spaces that I had made mistakes on earlier. Just a little beautiful mistake. Look at that. When I am done, I'm gonna go in and write in the weeks. I did end up making another mistake here for week 13 through 16. I was supposed to write the numbers below, but I ended up writing them on the same row. I did not realize until I was writing in my assignments, but I did end up fixing that. Again, don't stress about the mistakes. That's why we have whiteout, guys. Or if you know you're prone to mistakes, use a pencil. I wrote the months on top because school ends in April. I also wrote the classes I have. I'm writing a thesis. I have neurobiology and I have anatomy this semester. This last section that I'm adding in is my weekly log, where I will write every single task that I'm doing every day. I usually go in on Mondays and I plan for the whole week. I usually have a heavier load on Mondays because I like to put less on myself as the week ends. I went in to write in the days of the week with a pop of color again. I made another mistake. I wrote Thursday twice, so I went in and wiped that out. Thank you so much for joining me, your virtual study buddy. Can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye bye.